Hey everybody! It's us from your Loco City Sirens. My name is Krista,
And I'm Lizzie. How are you all tonight?
and we are gonna go over the comics from this past week, July 15th, I believe
Yep.
was New Comic Book Day.
Yep.
Gosh, and it's already Sunday, so I know, so much came out this week. It was a really, really big week.
Yes, it was. In fact, I had to go back on Thursday
Yeah,
because I missed a comic. And it was worth going back because it was good. And is it? No, I did not pick it for my top five, but it was still very good.
excellent.
So,
Yeah, I had a hard time picking my top.
okay. And I'm going to talk about the Odyssey, which I saw last night or yesterday
I'm gonna be
afternoon.
seeing that.
Krista has not seen it yet, so I don't want to give away some spoil. I won't give away spoilers. Not that there's a lot of spoilers in a 3,000-year-old story.
Right. Like I know the story, but still,
Yeah,
but I'll be seeing
but
I will be
it
seeing
was
it this
I
weekend.
thoroughly enjoyed myself. So I have a couple of negative things to say, but not a whole lot.
That's
So
good.
awesome. All right, so we're ready. We're ready to go right into
Yeah.
our comics. I know we had a late start. We had some technical difficulties. So I'm gonna go first this week. And let me see here. We're going to go with the big and the little. Oh, look at that. I'm already big. All right. My first is an honorable mention,
Mhm.
which is Wonder Woman number 35.
Ooh,
This
yeah.
is an interlude from the Wonder War. So it's an interlude between the big, huge battle between Wonder Woman and the matriarch and Trinity and the matriarch. Written by Stephanie Williams instead of Tom King, and drawn by, give me a moment, Clayton Henry, Pedro uh, Estico was the colorist, and Clayton Cowles was the letterer. They stuck very closely to Daniel Saint-Pierre style, so that was nice. So it wasn't a drastic shift. And they're still telling, they're staying within the story bounds of the Wonder War. Um, it was very, very, very good, but I only had to pick five, and so it only gets an honorable mention, and that's all I'm going to say about it. Uh, let's see. So my five are in order of uh, from first. No, uh, we'll start with the fifth and go up to my number one of the week. So I was really looking forward to this. Marvel's What If Jessica Jones got bit
Mhm.
by the radioactive spider. This was fabulous. Um, I loved the whole concept of Spider Girl, but I loved that she was still with Luke, and
Mhm.
I love that she met Misty, and that they were talking about starting a PI. It was everything you want out of a What If. Uh, so very glad that I got the one shot. I did not get any of the variant covers. This is the A cover, but still, it's still a great cover. You know, yeah, very, very, very pleased that I got that. So that's the fifth uh, comic of the week. The fourth is Tom Taylor and Otto Schmidt's Dark Knights of Steel 2. This was fabulous. I can't wait for the Aquaman one shot. This story, oh, the end will just leave you gasping. Um, it's very colorful. It's very medieval fantasy. It's it's kind of like Lord of the Rings crossed with DC. Um,
Yeah.
it's really, really, really good. I loved The first one I loved all winter. This did not disappoint. Tom Taylor really knows how to tell a story. He's writing the detective comic series right now, and he's killing it at that too. So kudos to him for uh, writing multiple stories that are amazing. And I really like Otto Schmidt's art. So I really enjoyed the interiors because usually I only have covers of his stuff,
Mm-hmm.
'cause he's primarily a cover artist. So it was really nice to get to see him on the interiors. So third comic for the week was Fall of the House of Slaughter #3. This
Mm-hmm.
had some jaw-dropping moments as well. This story just keeps getting better. Um, Mora made some choices this issue that are going to have repercussions. And in the teaser at the end, this is, not really giving anything away per se. Anybody who's following the story, but we get Erica back in both this and Something's Killing the Children soon. So um, this this series just keeps getting better. I can see why um, Something's Killing the Children is and Erica Slaughter's in Mike's top female characters.
Mm-hmm.
It just amazing. So second, so the runner up to #1, which I have no doubt is probably on my illustrious partners top 5 as well, was Absolute Green Arrow #3. This also
Mm-hmm.
had some really great reveals this issue. The two reveals at the end were just, again, just jaw dropping. Didn't you think?
Oh my gosh, like that final page
Right, right.
where they said the name. I was like,
Yeah,
ooh.
yeah. So, and should I share it?
All right, guys, we're gonna be talking spoilers.
Yeah,
So if you have not read
just
it,
because I want to show you how they drew him.
so good.
So this is
Dun dun
the
dun.
famous Solomon Grundy, and I'm trying to get it without the. Oh, of course, I'm gonna move my fingers. Um, ah,
Without the glare.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it. There we go. Look at all the eyeballs in his chest.
Is yuck.
It's just like, whoa. That wasn't the only reveal. I won't give anything else away. And they announced DC announced last week that they're extending this to 12 issues.
They did. We were just talking about it in the shop like earlier that morning. And then
Okay.
by noon, I was like, or at some point in the afternoon, I was like, oh my God, we were just talking about it and they extended it to 12. They
Yeah,
doubled
yeah.
it.
So I'm really excited for that. I'm glad that they're extending it.
Me too.
And next moves on. I'll get lucky and they'll extend Selena too, which would be wonderful.
That'd be
But
nice.
then again, it's kind of nice when they have these short little runs because you can get them all and then you can move on to something else.
It doesn't like overstay its welcome either.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So if they're gonna tell good story, I'm all for extending it, but don't extend it just for the sake of extending it.
Exactly.
Speaking of extending, I'm really, really glad to see that my #1 comic of the week, which is probably no surprise,
Of
Catwoman
course.
89. Now, this is the A cover. I did get 4 variants, but I really wanted to show off the uh, Fumara A cover because it really goes along with the point of the issue, which is boiling point. She's in some real hot water. And this is so fitting. And none of the other variants were quite as fitting to the interior content, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we are ticking. We are now 5 issues away from matching the longest Catwoman run ever, which
Mhm.
was Jim Ballant and Chuck Dixon are the two that started it in 1993, 94, 93 and 94. Anyway, and it went to 2002 and it had 94 issues, not including, so 94 regular issues, and then I want to say 5 annuals. I'd have to go look in my box. 4 or 5 annuals, right? And then miscellaneous one shots, probably another handful of one shots.
Mhm.
But one shots and annuals aside, that run went 94 issues.
Mhm.
And the only one that came close was the Ed Brubaker, who then Will Pfeiffer took over for the 2002 to 2010 run, which went 89 issues.
Right.
Um, so we have now, oh, no, it went 84, not 89. It went 84 issues. So we have surpassed that one. And this one's number 89. And I want to see them allow her to have 100 issues, right? She's
Yeah.
sold 100 issues multiple times over when you count the variants and the absolute inner, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all the facsimiles. But I would really love to see. I mean, they haven't said anything about canceling it, thank God. Knock
Knock
on
on wood.
wood, right? But if they are going to end the run anytime soon, please, DC, if you're listening, let it go to at least 100 before you do that.
Mhm.
Because I think that this current run that started with Joelle Jones picking up after she left him at the altar, right, or on the rooftop, as the case may be, in
Right.
2016, right? Um, it's had multiple writers, Joelle Jones, and then uh, Valentina took over for a while, and then Ram V took over for a while, and then Teenie Howard did a really long run, and now Tor Run Gronbeck has been writing it since Teenie Howard left it. I want to say in issue 62, I want to say Teeny left. So she's been writing. So Toron's been writing it for about 20 some odd issues now. And the story is fabulous. It's retconned her backstory a little bit. It kind of went back to the When in Rome story and did indeed make Selena Carmine Falcone's daughter with a nobody, right? So, hey, Chad,
Hey, Chad.
good to see you. Um, so they retcon that a little bit, but I'm okay with that because it was always, was she or wasn't she? They played on that theory in the Batman movie,
Mhm.
right? The one with Robert Pattinson, and Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. They
Mhm.
played around with that, that she's Carmine Falcone's child. They did it in Ed Brubaker's run. They did it in When in Rome. So I'm okay with them finally confirming that, right? Even though When in Rome, technically they said that she, or not When in Rome. In the New 52, they did that whole thing where she was, but then she walked away from it all, right? And
Mhm.
they retconned that a little bit, that whole thing didn't really happen, right? I mean, the brother and the sister that died in that run are still dead, but Selena didn't have anything to do with it. Um, and it's a very compelling story. Her past is coming back to haunt her. She's in a lot of trouble. Daddy's going to try to save the day, which is kind of weird. But there's still trickles uh, of the old Selena in this news. I just love the way that they're pulling pieces because Black Mask is in this, and there's references to when she shot him in the face, you know. Um, so anyway, I just love how they're threading in her history, and yes, they're retconning it a little bit, but not enough to where it's bothersome because they're weaving so much of the richness of the rest of her backstories, going all the way back to Mindy Newell's series in 1989, right? It's just really nice to see them paying homage to, or to see her, the writer, paying homage to all that history. And the art is beautiful, and I'm finally adjusting to her new costume. um Maggie's in this, Black Mask is messing with her. They brought Slam back, Bradley back, Maggie's back, Holly's back. It's great. It's wonderful. Definitely why it's my number one. And that is it for me. We are gonna flip over and turn it over to Krista, and everybody bear with her because she is on her cell.
I'm
Because
on my phone because my
yeah,
laptop.
we're both dealing with laptop issues, so yeah, definitely bear with us. Anyway, so show us your top five. You love yours because there's always stuff I haven't read in yours. You know,
All right. So, first of all, there is going to be, how do I do this? I have an honorable mention
do
that's
the
really
honorable
pretty.
mention, and then you can either do like I did, go five through one, or just do one through five.
Yeah. But I'm trying to figure out because this is a very, very spicy cover.
Oh,
But it was fun, so I'm going to show it. I'm going to try to cover up
I
as
was gonna
much as I
say
can.
either cover it a little bit or just don't should just flash it. Don't,
We'll
as long
flash
as
it,
it's on there for less than 10 seconds. We are listed as not children friendly.
but
So
still. Yeah. So, this one is called NSFW, which is
not
Nubile Strike Force. I
it's
just
not
thought
not suitable for work.
it's not. It's pretty much spicy GI Joe.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
So woo!
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
It was actually really really good. So I actually have two honorable mentions. That one mainly because just the art was really good. The
Right.
story was fun, but it was just spicy GI Joes. It was just
Yeah.
kind of a PWP in that sense. My other honorable mention, which everyone in the store is going to make fun of me for because I did not want to like this comic, but it was actually really good, which was Banana Number One.
Was it good? I literally looked at that cover like three times, going, "Do I want to? Do I
I
want
mean,
to?" I decided not to because my list is ridiculously long right now.
same, bro. And also, but it's a David Bowie homage, so I had to.
Yeah,
But
it,
yeah, oh my gosh, it was actually really fun. It
I
was a very
didn't know you
short
were a
read.
Bowie fan.
I'm a huge Bowie
Were
fan.
your parents Bowie fans? So you grew up
My
with.
my parents' very first date was a David Bowie concert, which explains everything about me.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Um, Side note, which we can talk about more later, but I'm going to see Joe Bonamassa and Government Mule at Wolf Trap at the end of the month.
Oh hey,
Yeah, John got us tickets today. So,
I'm
woo,
I'm
I'm excited for that. I've never seen either live.
that's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
I'm
Anyway, go
going to
ahead.
see I'm gonna see Weird Al at the end of the month.
Ooh, that's going to be so good.
Oh
That's
yeah,
going to be so good.
so
He's awesome.
he is. I've met him at a
I
con before, but I've never seen him live, so I'm really excited.
Okay, cool.
All right,
I've never seen him live. I've
me
seen him on
neither.
TV in the 80s when he was
Yeah, yeah,
young.
yeah. So
So,
we'll compare concerts.
absolutely.
All right, but starting out number one, as Liz said, it was definitely on my list. Was Green Arrow,
That is such a cool
absolutely Green
cover.
Arrow.
I almost bought that.
I
Who did
had
that?
the
Who did that?
Panosian. This is Dan Panosian. It's
Uh,
so good.
he's amazing.
Like the details are so good.
Yes,
I
I
love
love
this
the
like
band-aid with the on her face with the blood still
yeah.
trickling down her face. Absolutely.
And like this like kind of like burnt coloring in the background. It was so good.
So
Um
now that it's your turn, so can we speculate? Is it
ooh,
Ollie? Who do you think it is?
It honestly, it might be Ollie
Uh,
because they keep like the way that it's kind of going. I'm like, no, maybe this truly, maybe they
that
pulled
would be kind of cool. Well, we know it's
like a
not
double
Roy.
whammy. Yeah,
We know
like a
it's
double
not Roy.
negative. It
We
actually
know it's
is.
not Connor.
Right.
We know it's not, as much as I want it to be Dinah, it's not her either.
That would be a cool twist, but it's impossible.
It's impossible for it to be her
But
because they've been in the same place at the same time. So yes, I'm all, maybe it's going to be some weird twisted experiment person we don't even consider right now.
I
I don't
do.
know. But I'm at a loss. I don't know who I
It's
think it is now. You know?
it's a strange thing where at the beginning I'm like, if it's gonna be Ollie, I'm gonna be so mad because that's such a cop out of it just being just like a zombie Ollie. Like that's so
Yeah.
lame. But now
Yeah.
that we're like 3 issues in, I'm like, that actually be kind of badass though. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
it
I'm
would
in this
be.
weird kind of like era where I'm just like, or area where I'm just like, man, I don't want it to be Ollie, but I almost do. But I'm trying not to
Right.
drink the Kool-Aid too much, and I'm just kind of like, nah, I
Yeah,
want,
I'm enjoying the mystery. So I know you guys
yeah,
are
like I
extending it
don't
to
want to know.
12. Don't tell us anytime soon. Like,
Yeah.
I'd be
So
okay if they waited till 6 and then gave us a story about them after the reveal. Don't
that
reveal
was
it until 6. And now we know you're going beyond 6. You're going to give us another 6 more. Tell us the story after the reveal, that the reveal, because they were like, I was reading this thing, the sign of a good story is not this happened, this happened, this happened,
hmm
right? It's this happened, so that happened,
hmm
so that happened. That's
Yeah.
the way a good story should move.
Oh
So
yeah.
don't give us the reveal till the end, and then give us another 6 issues of, and then that happened
Yes.
because of the reveal. I would love that so much.
I
So
completely agree.
yeah.
Completely agree. I think I thought that they were gonna do a reveal in maybe like issue like 4 or 5, so we only had like 1 or 2 to kind of like deal with the aftermath of like us, the audience, as well as I
Right.
assume probably Dinah, like and whoever like finding out who it is. But now I'm
Right.
like, ooh, if they do it in like the very last second of the 6th issue, and then we have to wait all the way until issue 7, and 7 is like the aftermath would be, and then we have all the way until
Ooh,
12
it would
is
be
so
chef's
good.
kiss. Yeah, it would.
Yes.
Yes.
So good. So
Yes.
that's what I'm hoping that they're
100%.
gonna do.
Me too. I really hope. Fingers crossed. Fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
like all of them. I think that would
Fingers
just be,
crossed.
that would be so cool and so like such a
Hmm.
strong way to do it.
Yeah, I
So
agree. I agree. Okay, what's next on your list, darling?
all right, because we are also two peas in the exact same pod. I had
Yeah,
to.
we so are in so many ways. We differ in other ways too, but in certain ways. And can I just comment on that Latin? Hold up the back really quick. That ad being on almost every comic this week.
Yeah,
It
they're
made them being
pumping out
upside down
lanterns.
very hard to tell apart.
Yeah, trust me. I know. I go through when I
Yeah.
go through them. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
When I'm pulling them out of boxes, I'm like, we have another lanterns. Oh, it's the show. It's not a
Yeah.
comic.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But coming in August, so we will be
Coming in
discussing.
August.
We will be
Lots coming
discussing
in
that.
August. So yeah, don't you agree about Tom Taylor just telling a great? I mean,
He's
the way he's woven all this already, just one issue. There's so much happened in this issue.
it
I don't
really
want to
did. It
spoil
was a
it for
very
anybody.
strong one. It was very,
So
very
much
strong.
happens in this issue, but it
Yeah.
picks up right where the other one like left off, which I
Which I
love.
love when they do that.
Me too. Me
I
too.
love when they do that. Yeah, this issue I thought was very strong. I loved how saw we kind of got reintroduced to all the characters, which I like when they do that as well, just kind of like give you a
Yeah.
little refresher.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, no, this was it was very, very strong. I liked all of the it just kept the same flavor as the last one. So that
Yeah.
made me very, very happy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tom Taylor's doing did a really good job with this one.
Yep.
I'm very back and forth with him, but on certain stories he does amazing. Other ones I'm like, honey, you needed to have stopped
Y-
writing this story a long time ago.
Yeah.
But he tends to do a little bit of like a kind of a filler phone home writing sometimes, but this one he does a
I
really
think
good job
Tom
with.
King is like that for me too. Sometimes I just love him no matter
Yeah.
what he's doing. But then there'll be these periods in whatever he's doing
Yeah.
where you feel like he's just phoning it in. And
Yeah.
he kind of loses you for a little bit. But then he comes back.
But but I'm also like Tom King's or not Tom King,
Tom Taylor.
Tom Taylor's Nightwing is like my all-time favorite.
Is it?
I love yeah.
Yeah,
I
no, I've read parts of that.
I
It's
miss
good.
him writing Nightwing so bad. It's
Y-
not bad now. I love Nightwing. I got a Nightwing, but I miss his writing. He was so good. And then he moved on to Titans and Titans got really good and I was like that's what we had. I hope you all are enjoying it.
Yeah, yeah.
A little
I
bitter.
mean, and that's kind of what you got to do if you really enjoy a writer. You got to move with them. I mean,
Yeah.
look at Gail Simone and how prolific
Yeah,
she's been, you
for
know?
sure. Oh,
So,
I read anything that Gail Simone
yeah, I
does.
really want to
She's doing
read the She Spawn.
ooh yeah, she's doing
She's
She's
only a couple
Spawn.
in, and I heard The Ring was good, but I'm not.
Not a
So
wrestler.
yeah, I'm not. I'm not into wrestling at all. So
That's
that's
fair.
kind of why I haven't bought it. At the same time, I'm not into boxing at all. And the Tom King Black Canary run that was just her and
Oh
Lady
yeah.
Shiva boxing through the whole thing was
That's fair.
phenomenal. It was phenomenal. It didn't matter that I don't like boxing. I was sucked in, you know? So,
Well, I think the sign of a really good writer can pick almost any topic and make you
and
interested.
suck you in. Suck
Yeah,
you. If
even
they
if
can
you
suck
don't
you in
like
even
it.
to a topic you don't want to write, there that's a sign of an excellent writer.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's I will say I do like wrestling. I'm not too big on boxing. Ironically, I'm not big on boxing, but I like wrestling.
Okay.
But the ring is really really good. It's
Yeah.
issue 2 just came out and it was really good. So I'm excited
Okay.
for that to
Cool.
continue.
Cool. I'll wait for the trade and then I'll get it. All right. What's next?
Alrighty. Next, we're getting into my indies now. So now I have Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Oh, I saw the pictures that you guys did at
Oh, I
the
forgot to
shop
send them
at
to you. Yeah, this was my top
this
pick.
homage was fabulous.
The absolute Batman homage, which I loved so much with Princess Donut right here, and I love her so
Mhm.
much.
So cute.
Yeah. So this is the
Oh, wait.
comic print of the web comic that's based on the books. So there's a lot of 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon going on with this, but yeah.
Gotcha.
So this is the comic print of it's issue 0.
Okay.
So I did that one. From Ignition, I have the Minotaur.
I didn't get that. You put it in my box and I put it back because while I enjoyed the or the free comic book day, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like it enough to add it to my list. So I didn't
Absolutely
get it because
fair.
I was afraid. I was like, no, because if you really like the first one, you're going to want to add it to your list. So I didn't get it.
That's so real.
Plus, Odin
Um,
right now is kind of fulfilling
it's filling
that
that void for
kind
you.
of like overly, kind of religious, but yet apocalyptic kind of vibe, and a little bit of horror. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's completely fair. I like the fact that the main character you're kind of following. I like that she is kind of almost a war journalist, like
Hmm.
photographer. So it's
Yep.
all these people dealing with all the aftermath of what's going on, and she's
Yep.
running around like in the field, like in the stuff, like taking photos of people.
That's
And
very much how that free comic felt like. It felt like you were
yeah,
following a photojournalist who was
yeah,
posting on a blog.
essentially. So, but like all these crazy things are happening, and she's kind of accidentally getting more involved than she was anticipating.
Of
Um,
course.
but that's been really fun. And then my final pick is called Kingdom of Earth.
Oh, I didn't even hear about this. Okay, tell me what's
So
about.
this one is from David Dasmakian and Leah Kilpatrick. So David Dasmakian is a huge guy in like the horror game.
Okay.
He was in the movie. Oh my gosh, what is it? Late Night with the Devil with like the talk show host. He
Yeah,
was the
okay.
polka dot. He was the polka dot man in the
The other
Suicide Squad,
Suicide Squad.
like the
Okay.
second one.
Okay.
But yeah, trying not to give it away. This deals with like it's a very he does comics that are very big in psychology.
Okay.
So this is about like how do I describe it? So you're following this girl, but there's a lot of like mythology and like monsters, and she's trying to fight them in like rural
Okay.
America. But there's a lot of like, is she the monster? What's the real monster?
Yeah.
Try not to give too much away, but yeah.
Right.
So Kingdom of
Oh,
Earth,
cool.
it's yeah. Issue one is
Yeah.
was absolutely amazing. That was Vince's top pick of the week.
Okay. Okay.
And he even got a shout out from the two writers on our
Ooh,
Instagram. Both of the
nice.
both of
Oh,
the
that's
creators
so cool.
commented on the post for about Vince's photo, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That
So
is
those are my top
awesome.
picks.
All right. Well, look at that. You had some really good picks. Some really good picks. Are you looking forward to what's coming out this week? Um, Not
Yeah,
a huge week, but not a tiny week either.
right. Got absolute Wonder Woman, which
Yep.
has been so good. So I'm excited for the next
Yes,
issue.
same. Kelly Thompson is just, and the next Justice
Mean.
Shark week, I believe, the Superstar is coming out.
I believe it is a Jeff the Shark. So or Jeff the Land Shark. So that's another
Yeah, I think
Kelly
it's Superstar
Thompson.
number 2.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So that's another
and
Kelly.
what else do well, Detective and Harley Quinn. Well,
Yeah, Harley.
they might not come out till the last week. We've got 2 more Wednesdays in the month. So it'll probably be Absolute Wonder Woman and Nice House by the Sea.
It sounds right.
Yeah. And then a bunch from Image. I'm betting we'll get another. It's either going to be Odin or Hyde Street. I haven't gotten my Witchblade this month
I,
yet.
Witchblade might be on there. I don't think Hyde Street
Odin.
or Odin were on
Okay.
this list. Unfortunately, the list that I have of all the things that are coming out are on my phone, and I'm using my phone right now.
Right, right.
So
And
if I
I've
try
got the
to
pullouts from the catalog, but they're not always accurate, I've found. Because like 2 months ago they said Absolute Superman was coming out the very first week and it didn't come out until the third week.
right, yeah, I know a
You
lot of
know,
things got
but
postponed.
I do have like, so I've got just a bunch that I haven't marked off as coming yet, which is for Marvel. It's the last Jessica Jones alias 2,
Hmm.
the last Moonstar, and the next Beauty from Ignition Press.
Yeah,
So I
Beauty
don't
I
have
know is
those
coming
checked off
out.
yet. Nice House by the Sea for DC or Vertigo. Justice League Unlimited, Harley Quinn, Detective Comics. But those usually do not come out until the last week of the month.
Yeah, I don't think those are out yet.
And
And
then
then
Absolute Wonder Woman, and then from Boom, Something is Killing the Children, which might be out next week.
that is out
Sometimes
next
it
week.
comes out the third, sometimes it comes out the fourth. Depends.
Yeah, that one I remember
But
seeing.
that's just my list. So, um, because I cross them out when I get them, so I
Oh,
know
that's
what's
smart.
coming. Yup.
Like a bingo card.
Yeah, kinda. I'm anal about that, but um, I haven't been as diligent in this last month only because I've been working on cleaning out our library. Well, we're moving my library, so I've been collecting books since I was knee high to a grasshopper. And I literally have some books that I've had since I was under, well, since I was prepubescent. So, because I still have my Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret from
Oh
Judy
wow.
Bloom. I still have all my Little House books. Got the whole series in a box that I've had since I was a little girl. Mm, that's kind of it, right? I've got some, and then I've got some stuff that I've kept since high school. Like I have the whole S.E. Hinton, all four the Outsiders text. That was then, this is now, and Rumblefish. I have all four of those. Um, so I have a small handful from elementary school, little bit bigger group from high school, and then pretty much from high school forward, I've kept every book that I've pretty much bought. Well, when I got ready to move here from Washington, I had, back up a little bit. I had two bookshelves when I started out that I moved around with me. And my goal since I was knee high to a grasshopper was to someday have an actual library. Like all those movies you see from the 30s and 40s, that people had libraries. The libraries that had shelves that went to the ceiling and had ladders. Now, I've never had that. But um, when I moved to Washington and we bought our house, one
Mhm.
of the reasons that we bought the house was because it had an unfinished basement, which we knew we were going to turn into the master suite, which, full bathroom, bedroom setup, including with an egress window. So it was a legal bedroom. And then one guest room, and to turn the second bedroom into a library, because I was like, 40, 38, 39. And it was like, oh my God, I'm finally going to have a library. By the time 2003 rolls around, I have expanded the library out of that room. There's two shelves in my dining room and a shelf in the guest room, right? And I had over 3,000 books.
Wow.
So I knew moving here that there was limited space. And we were going to use the upstairs middle room up here, which we were going to use my queen bed that I had in my guest room. And now we were going to put all the bookshelves in there, and it would be a guest room slash library. But I had to decrease a lot of books. So I probably got rid of about 300 to 500 books before I moved here, right?
Mhm.
I got rid of most of my textbooks because I kept every college textbook that I had ever had. I bought all the textbooks, and then I just kept them, threw them on the shelf.
I
So I got
sold
rid
all
of most.
mine.
Yeah, this was long before online in a lot of cases,
Oh,
right?
I sold them to other kids at school. Once I finished the class, I immediately turned
I
around, found
probably,
someone who was taking the class, and I
yeah,
just
I
sold to them.
probably should have done that, but at the time I was planning on being a teacher, and I thought the books would make good reference material
That
to
is
make
very
lesson
fair.
plans with, right?
That's
So
very
that's
fair.
why that was my logic for keeping them. If I ever have to do math, I want to keep my mathematics books. So if I forget how to do the Pythagorean theorem, I can go grab my algebra textbook, flip it there, and that we have muscle memory. So as soon as you see that kind of stuff comes back, right?
Mhm.
So anyway, I get here and I probably have 2,500 thereabouts, 24, 2,500. And this does not include my comics. This is just books, like, paperbacks, mostly hardbacks, some big coffee table reference books. I probably have 75 of those. So anyway, I moved here and I knew I had to downsize more. So I've been here 3 years. Each year I've been here, I've donated over 100 to the Loudoun County Library, the Russ Library, over off of Waterford Road, right?
Mhm.
So they're not taking books anymore. They're not having any book sales. They aren't having any books, but I've donated, well, 5 books, the 5 boxes of books. But one box holds about 25 to 30 books. Um, I donated 5 the first time, 8 the second time, seven the third time. And I have 6 boxes stacked up against the wall in the guest room library right now. So Long story short, my daughter-in-law and my son are having a baby. So our guest room, yes, baby girl, they just learned that the other day, and said I'm allowed to announce it. So I'm going to
That's
be,
so
um,
awesome.
oh my God, yes, going back to the math discussion briefly, Fuzzy Ewok, they changed math, and I'm glad I don't have to do the new math. No kidding. But at the same time, I'm really glad I have a textbook that has everything from basic math all the way through trig, a little bit of trig in one textbook, right? And it's from the late 80s, early 90s. So it's got the old fashioned math. So I can still do math the old way if I need to. Um, anyway, so I have to move the library because they're going to turn the library guest room into the baby nursery. Now they're keeping the bed in there, which I actually think is a great idea because I had a bed when my daughter was my first baby was born, and it made nursing so much easier, especially with a nursing pillow, right? So they're going to keep the bed, but I have to get, at the time before this process started, I had about 24, 23, maybe 22, somewhere in there, somewhere between 2,000 and 2,400 books. And I got to move all of them. Some of them are going into storage. 6 boxes. I've already donated 1 box piece to the Percival Library and the Middleburg Library. 6 boxes left to donate that I can't donate till September. Um, then I moved a whole bunch in here. So I now have like 4 bookshelves that weren't in here before. Can't see them on the screen, but you can see the metal one back there up against the wall.
Hmm.
Um, I boxed another 6 that I don't want to get rid of, but I don't think I'm going to have room for because we're turning our dining room into the library. So it'll be a dining room, a craft room. It also holds our like empire and a wardrobe that has, kitchen stuff in it. And then we're going to line one wall, one corner to the other of bookshelves. And that's the amount of space I have, right? So I have to fill that space. And then whatever I have left in here will take, I'm hoping that I won't have to bring another bookshelf downstairs. There's enough room to maybe turn the corner with one narrow bookshelf if I need to. But yeah, so I'm basically having to downgrade a whole lot more. And so, like, I packed up all the children's books I have because not only do I have kid books from when I was a kid, I have a handful of books from when my dad was a kid from the 30s
That's
and the
impressive.
40. And I don't want to get rid of those. I have a first edition of Black Beauty that I found in Harper's Ferry in an antique store sitting in a drawer for 5 cents. I had no
Wow.
idea what they had. Literally, she sold me the book for a nickel because she was just using it. She had no idea what it was, and she was using it as a prop in the drawer.
Huh,
But it's the first edition hardback of Black Beauty.
that's crazy.
So the books that my dad had are not like really. I didn't even know how to. They probably wouldn't be available in any student library anymore. So he's got a Happy Jack, right? I've got a
Mhm.
Happy Jack. I've got an Uncle Remus and a Briar Rabbit, and they're hardbacks as well, right? But they're all very, very racist and all that because they were done in the 30s before we were reckoning with any of that as a nation, right? So,
Correct.
but at the same time, one of them is written to Ralphie, from
Mhm.
my great grandparents, so it's a family heirloom that I'm hoping to pass on to my kids that they can pass on to their kids and so on
Mhm.
and so on and so on. For the historical value, not necessarily for the content of those specific books specifically. But, I also have a very early copy of Little Women, Pride and Prejudice. I've got the entire Dickens collection in hardback. I've got everything Shakespeare's ever written in hardback. Um, yeah, Iliad and the Odyssey, because my dad had been reading me those since he was a little girl. I have an entire collection, which is now in here, on almost just about every world religion you could possibly name. If I don't have an actual book on it, I've got a book that discusses that religion in it.
Mhm.
I've got an entire set of BDSM. Probably have about 100 in that, just in that genre.
Mhm.
But I donated all my um, Anne McCafferty Pern novels, because I have the entire Pern run all the way up through her death in the first two books that her son wrote in the series. It's like 30 some odd books long. So I donated that to uh, Percival. And then
Mhm.
I took another like young adult fantasy series that I had, and I took that to Middleburg. Um, so that's what I'm basically kind of asked the kids, what series do you care about? What series do you don't care about? That, as soon as I'm gone, you're going to be like, get rid of this. So I might as well get rid of those now. But the libraries are, because I guess people aren't reading as much as they used to. And they're reading ebooks because nobody wants to carry books anymore. But I'm thinking about, because I still have so many that are geared towards middle school and high schoolers,
Mhm.
right? Or even young 20s, you know. Um, so my kids suggested that maybe I talk to some of the local high schools and junior highs. Do they need any books? Because he was saying they might even have some of the series that you have, but my books are in better condition.
Yeah, I would you can contact like Loudoun County or different county school
Mm-hmm.
systems, and you can even donate directly to them, and like to like the county office, and then they can distribute them.
Oh,
Or
nice.
so you can do that because I've done
Right.
that before. Or you can even go on like Facebook into like if you're a part of any kind of like local groups.
Yeah.
And you could even just be like, "Hey, is anybody a teacher? I have some books that I want to donate. Is anybody interested in filling up their classroom?"
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea too. I'm on the Loudoun County social thingy. That's
Oh,
about
I'm
the
on that
only,
too.
yeah, that's about the only big like county-wide thing I'm on. But and again, those are basically very similar to what Will and Emily said. They were like, you could, of course, it's summer right now, so they aren't really doing a whole lot. But they said, come, the end of August, mid-August, when the teachers go back to start prepping, that would be the time to reach out to the
Yeah.
librarians. Do you need any? Can yourselves use some replenishing, blah blah blah. Because that, I just feel very strongly about giving them away to a place that is not going to charge
Yeah.
even 50 cents or a dollar. Like, I know I give a lot of stuff to Blue Ridge Hospice,
Mhm.
uh that the thrift store.
Yeah.
I give a lot of stuff away to them, but when it comes to books, I feel very strongly that they should be passed on to somebody who can't afford to even give 50 cents for a book, but they can go to the library. It
Yeah.
just gives me, I feel like I'm paying it forward because I lived in libraries in my youth.
Me too.
It wasn't until there were very few books that my parents would deem to actually buy me, right? And it wasn't until I got that first job in high school, and that was always what I spent my money on: cigarettes, sad to say, and books through high school. So um anyway, but yes, so I spent all day today moving the sewing stuff, which about a year ago I had moved out of the dining room up into the library. Now it's going out of the library, guest room, baby room, out of that back downstairs. And I spent all day. I must have gone
Oof.
up and down those stairs today 15 times. It
Oh my
was,
gosh.
oh my God, my legs. I finished at 6:20.
Oh
And then
my
I
god.
just vegged on my couch watching the clock tick, going, okay, I'm not moving. Um, Oh, that's a good idea, Fuzzy Ewok, to check local universities. I
Yeah.
hadn't thought about that at all. That they might take some. Yeah, like maybe reach out to Nova. I
Hmm.
have a university literally like 2 miles from my house, but they're like a homeschool defense thingy, Patrick Henry, and they probably would not want any of the books. I actually looked into teaching there because it's so close, and I have a degree to teach college educated
Hmm.
adults, and um, you have to take a Christian pledge,
Yeah.
and I refuse.
Yeah.
I'm a very spiritual person, but I'm not a Christian.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to
No.
lie and say I'm to get a job, because they would never be able to hold to that in teaching. And actually, long story short, the only B minus in my entire college career that I ever got was in a lesson plan class that I was taking when I was getting my master's in um, history, and no, excuse me, when I was getting my EDS, which is in between a PhD and a master's. Um, and she was like, the assignment was, you're teaching an online class that doesn't have any time off. So there's no Christmas break, there's no holiday breaks, blah, 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 blah. But you have
Hmm.
a Christian, you have a devout Christian, you have an assignment due on December 25th, because the assignments are always due on Fridays. And that Friday happens to fall on December 25th. And so the assignment is due. And what accommodations do you offer to your student that's a Christian? And I said, none, because I'm not offering any concessions to my Jewish students for their Hanukkah that might fall on a Friday night. I'm not giving any concessions to my Islamic students that might have a holiday that falls on a Friday, and or my Buddhist, my Taoist, my pagans. It's not fair to allow one religious student to make an excuse not to turn their stuff in on time, right?
Hmm.
Than it is to make an exception.
Yeah.
and
Full
and
separation of
she
education
failed me
and
on
state
the assignment
or church.
because she said I had to make a concession, that religious freedom and blah 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 blah. And I was like, well, religious freedom works for all religions, and because it was specifically worded that they were the only ones to be considered. No, the real answer would be, don't have the assignment due that week on that Friday. Have it due on the 22nd or the 23rd. That would really be the ideal way to handle that, right? But that wasn't the question that they asked.
Right.
Ooh, she yelled at me across the phone for 20 minutes because she could not budge me on changing my
Mm.
mind on why I wouldn't concede that a paper should still be due on the 25th of December. So, but anyway, so I'm not going to go to a school where they would want me to be something that I'm not. So,
That's fair.
um, anyway, but I studied religion for years through college, which it was fascinating. I actually probably became more spiritually inclined after than before, but with no religious framework, rigid tenet. Kind of pull things from all sorts of different places. But anyway, back to the discussion of books. I'm looking forward to the addition to the family, but it has been very stressful to move the library. However, or change is always good, and this is a way for me now. We'll have it in a place in the house where anybody who comes over can see it, instead of only being able to be seen by somebody who might stay the night, which is hardly ever. So you
So
know.
your library's gonna be more in like the front of the house?
Yes, it's going to be like literally. So we have a 3 level, but if you come through our front door, you come through an entryway, and we have in that entryway there's an immediate right turn into the kitchen, right, and dining area, and like an eating kitchen area, and then but if you go straight, there's like a formal dining room area, and that's kind of where we have an archway, and we're going to put the books, like I said, along one wall. So there's the dining room table is going to stay in there, and we just basically moved the furniture that was in there from the long wall to the shorter wall, and we're going to line the long wall with bookshelves. And I've condensed my library into 4 bookshelves from 9. I think that's an accomplishment to go
That's
from 9 to
crazy.
4, right? So
Dude, I have one, two, three, four. I have about 7 completely jam-packed full bookcases.
are they like the big long, 6 foot or 7 foot tall
Yeah,
wide?
like
Yes,
like
that's what my 9
ceiling.
are. And then I have like probably another 6 or 7 shorter ones.
I have like stacks on the floor over there.
Mm-hmm.
I have a spinner. I actually have a DVD spinner that
Mm-hmm.
I filled with my books,
I
with like
want
my
a
mass
spinner.
markets.
I've been
I
looking at the bamboo ones. They say
Ooh,
they'll hold 200 to 300 books. I'm like down for that.
that's not bad.
No.
Mine,
So,
I'm pretty sure came from IKEA like 15 years ago.
hey man,
Um,
IKEA makes decent furniture,
yeah,
so lasts
it's
forever.
really good. It's like
They
that kind of
take
like
care of it.
dark brown, kind of like
Ooh,
dark brownish
okay. Yeah, 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 yeah,
kind of wood. It's really
yeah.
pretty. Yeah, it spins, and I have a bunch of my like I have a yeah, I have all my my manga and my mass markets are on that,
Okay.
and my memory box and a couple of figurines are on top.
Yeah, yeah,
And then I have a desk, and like literally my desk is just covered in like books, and I also have a lot of box sets.
yeah.
I have so many books, Liz. So that's why I'm like
I
I feel your pain. I have so many box
yeah.
sets.
Lego
Um
Jurassic Park action figures and other. Oh yeah. Wife does full for yeah.
yeah.
So and then I think about like I think you been to Gary's? Have you seen the Library of
I have
Comics?
yet to have been
So
to Uncle
he's
Gary's.
got an entire basement just lined with bookshelves and
I have heard
short
the songs and
shelves.
stories.
It's so
I'm
and to
really
think that
excited for
it's
an
mostly
invitation.
comics. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got a lot of graphic novels and stuff like that too, but it's jaw drop. For somebody like me who's a total read any type of book geek, I love seeing people's libraries. I
Mine too, me
used to
too.
have a stupid little meme that was like, "Don't ever trust a house that doesn't have some form of library. It might not have a designated room as a library, but that
It doesn't have like a
every house
bookshelf
needs
at
to
least.
have at least 1 or 2 overflowing bookshelves,
Every In my opinion, every house needs at least one shelf of movies, one shelf of books, and one shelf of board games.
Yeah, yeah.
Board games are essential as well.
I'm actually kind of upset because I got rid of all my Trivial Pursuit. I had the entire set of the Genius regular, and then we had the boxes of the cards for the Genius 2,
Yeah.
the silver screen, the entertainment, sports and medicine.
Yeah, I have
And then
all
I
of them.
had rock trivia, which we played all the time when I was
Yes.
in high school. And
I have
I carried those around all the way through 20 plus years in Washington, and I had not touched them. Seriously, I had not touched them since my, probably 92. And I saw this thing. There was how I started downsizing, right? Which I've kind of started building back up again. But after my late partner Jim passed away, I went through this downsizing phase. I watched this thing on CNN, and they were talking about um, the best way to deal with downsizing is if you haven't touched it, worn it, used it, played with it for 5 years or more, and
Yep.
it does not have sentimental value.
Right.
So you aren't holding on to it because it's a family heirloom or blah blah blah, which we all do. But if it meets those criteria, get rid of it and start in one section of your house. Like decide, okay, I'm going to start in my closet. I'm going to start with my clothes. I'm going to
Hmm.
start with my shoes or start with my books or whatever it is. Now, with books, it was like, so it's really easy to say that about clothes. Like, I finally got rid of the clothes that I was carrying around because, oh, I might get into that size zero again. Maybe. It's been 15 years since I got into that, but I could just maybe get into these jeans that I wore in high school. No, I donated them to a women's shelter, where somebody skinny will be able to wear it, right? Um, with books, it's harder because you really do have to. Am I going to read this again? Does it have any value? Does it have
Yeah.
a personal value? Does it have an intrinsical monetary value? Is it part of a collection? So like there are certain authors that I collect, and if I have them, I want everything that they've produced, just if I can get
Me.
it, right?
I do the same.
Yeah. So like I have Stephen King, I have everything Stephen King's ever written, including his nonfiction, right? Um, but I have the Gunslinger, right? When he originally published it in 1982, he published it through Glant Publishing, and there were only 500 books published, right?
Hmm.
Now it's been republished in paperback and in hardback and all of that over the years. But in 1982, Grant Publishing, which was a tiny little place in New Hampshire, only put out 500 copies. Well, my copy of The Gunslinger has 6 blank pages. It was a publishing error. So literally throughout the book, there are 6 pages that are completely blank. Now, the guy that my daughter's father bought the book from, because he gave it to me for Christmas one year, had a second copy of the book. So
Hmm.
photographed the missing pages and put the copies in the book when he sold the book to Lindsay so I would be able to read it, right? But
Wow.
it's a one of a kind.
As was say,
It's a
that's
one of a kind.
a
If
collector's
I could
item.
get Stephen King to sign it, it would put its value, but he doesn't sign books.
Right.
So, but even without the signature, yeah. And I already told you about the Black Beauty. So that's kind of what I like. Those books I'm keeping, right? Those have value. I have the whole Harry Potter series. I have the whole Wheel of Time series. My son is an avid Sword of Truth, Wheel of Time, so of course I'm not getting rid of those series, right? Because
Hmm.
he wants those to pass on to his kids. Um, but I do think that's important. I think I was seeing in the news, I think it was PBS News, did a thing, I want to say it was on Wednesday's broadcast, and they were talking about how less than 25% of the American public reads anymore. I mean, they read, but they only read streaming and they only read what comes across Facebook or TikTok, or they're reading articles that are only a 2 minute, 3 minute read. Nobody's reading books anymore. And I just find that so sad because
That's devastating.
it is so, so sad. And I'm so glad that I fostered a love of reading in both my kids.
Hmm.
Not that they both struggled a little bit learning to read, which was kind of actually even hard for me to deal with too, because I took such ease with it, but they really took after more like my brother and their dads, where they really had to kind of learn. But at the same time, some of my best memories with Will are reading Harry Potter. When we started that book, he was sitting on my lap in, kindergarten,
Yeah.
first grade, and I was reading it to him. By the time we got to Goblet of Fire, he was in second grade and reading it to me,
Yeah.
right?
My sister taught my brother how to read through Harry Potter.
Yeah, well, that's kind of where Will was struggling with reading, and that's between the work his dad did with him at home and the me reading to him when he came to stay with me. We
Mm-hmm.
got him through that, and now he reads on a really high level. So, but my daughter did the same thing. She didn't want to really. She loved comics as a kid, right? Like, oh, she loved all the Archies and Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and she thought all those were great, but she wasn't really it. Yeah, and she liked the little Disney books. Do you remember the
The
Disney books?
golden books.
Yes. Not well.
Yeah,
No,
the
they
little
weren't the
golden
golden
books.
books. They were the ones that Disney actually put out. They were hardbacks. They were about like that thick, and they were based on each movie, right? So there was like the Robin Hood one, and there was the Snow White and Cinderella, and it was all the
Oh yeah.
older movies. They were in a little like scholastic book. The books were like anyway. She loved those.
Yeah.
She did read a lot of the golden books, but if the book was longer than 5 pages, she wasn't interested. It wasn't until she got into like middle school and high school that she started actually like reading for pleasure a novel, like the game. She tore through Game of Thrones,
Mm-hmm.
the whole series, once she but they both did. They both really just took a little bit to warm up, whereas according to my parents, I was at least reading from memorization by 3.
Mm-hmm.
But like my mom will tease me now. I don't ever remember you reading comics. You always had an actual book in your hand. And I'd be like, no, mom, I read comics too. It's just comics you can read in 10 minutes, and a book
Mm-hmm.
would take me a week. you know? That's why you never saw me with the comic, because I was reading it in 10 minutes. Plus, she wasn't the one buying me the comics, it was always my dad.
Right.
So, I'm like, it wasn't you buying them. Why would you remember that? Oh, yeah.
See.
Anyway, after now we have rambled, and but we're only just now hitting our hour. So, I did want to say that I got to see the Odyssey yesterday. It is amazing. I loved every minute of it. Still not a fan of Robert Pattinson. Will never understand why everybody thinks he's so wonderful. He has two facial expressions. He used both in this movie, and that was about it. Hey man, he's made an entire. It was till we were talking. I was talking to my kids about it yesterday. I was like, he's made an entire career off of these two facial expressions
That's
since
so
Harry
funny.
Potter, since Harry Potter, right? And then, and it's funny because like Emily listed like 3 movies that I really should see and how great he is. And my mom raved about him in Water for Elephants. I watched Water for Elephants. So, okay, he still had the same too. Anyway, anybody could have played that role and it would have been fine. Matt Damon
Oof.
deserves an Oscar, if nothing else, for the monologue at the end.
Mhm.
It was really good. Typical Christopher Nolan, though. It was too loud. It we had just seen, we talked about last weekend,
Mhm.
we had just seen Mandalorian and Grogu 2 weeks before that, and that movie was nowhere near as loud as the Odyssey was. John complained that he swore that they must have taken it from like a 6-7 to an 8-9 for that, volume wise, on a scale to 10. But Christopher Nolan likes big and loud.
Well, I know
So,
that this movie was filmed used for IMAX, so I
yes,
know that they use like really big cameras and like
three
sound quality.
minutes. I was reading an article just this morning. The IMAX cameras only allow them to film 3 minutes at a time. Now, there are huge lot longer than 3 minute shots and monologues in this movie, right? Which means that what they had to do was these people had to be all in character and do their thing and then freeze and wait for them to take 10 to 15 minutes to switch out to new film, set everything back up, and then they have to pick right up where they left off.
When they're dedicated, and they probably have a bunch of
Dude,
cameras
the
on hand,
amount
so they
of
just swap them.
acting that requires and focus, that in and alone of itself is impressive, and bless every single one of those actors for having the patience to do that, right? Because that's tedious. 3 minutes of film and then 15 minutes to reset, 3 minutes, 15 minutes. Can you that had to have added days
Yeah.
to the filming schedule. Anyway, it was worth it because it's beautifully shot, as you know it was going to be, because again, it's a Christopher Nolan film, right? Um, it followed the books. There were things left out. He says he has 12 hours of footage, which means he must have filmed the entire thing, but then he cut down what he thought, because it's a full 3 hour movie, right? And that's after previews and before, and right before the credits run. It's 172 hours, so it's long, but it's mostly fast paced. The acting is phenomenal. I am going to go on my little rant for just a moment, and just, I understand that the dog is part of the story, excuse my language, but can we get over the abuse of freaking animals on film already? It has been just abundant this year, especially poor dogs. Marvel Punisher throwing a freaking Chihuahua, fluffy, beautiful dog in front of a trash truck. And, you know, Odysseus' dog that's so 20 years old and he can't move, and all he's doing is waiting for his poor master to come home. People are kicking it, beating on it. I don't want to see that. I'm just tired of it. It's like John Wick started it, and everybody thinks now it's okay to beat up on dogs or kill dogs, or, yeah, just please, please, TV gods, movie gods, let them get over and stop this abuse of animals, because it's just getting ridiculous.
For the longest time, like, hurting a cat was like kind of like almost a funny thing. They would like swing a cat out the window and you would hear the cat scream. That for the
Yeah, but
longest
then the cat
time.
would be like land on the feet and, oh, everything's okay, but not always,
Not
right?
always, and sometimes you don't even get a follow up. Sometimes they just throw a cat out a window, or they just step on the cat and the cat screams, and
Yeah,
it's funny.
and
That's
yeah,
kind of
it's
always been
not
a thing, and
funny.
now they're killing dogs.
Yeah, it's not funny. I don't want to see that. I'm over it. I understand that this is showing how bad this is. Dude, find another way.
Honestly, like
Really,
that's a
it
cheap
just
way.
yeah, there's other ways, and I understand that they put the little disclaimer, no animals were hurt in the making of this film. It doesn't matter. You're traumatizing your audience who are
Hmm.
animal lovers. I mean, even Supergirl, right?
Yeah.
They mess with crypto,
Yeah.
and I just, yeah, I'm over it. So I knew it was coming because it's in the story, but I just didn't need to see it. You know what I
That's
mean?
fair. Yeah.
I
There
just
has
didn't
been a
need to see it.
lot of it this year.
It really seems
There's
like
been a
it's been
lot more
excessive.
this year than
It
normal.
really has seemed that it's been excessive. Um, so that's all I'm going to say about that. I really like the casting. Um, the every there was a big to do about the casting of Helena Troy. There was a big to do about the casting of um,
Elliot Page.
Thank you, Elliot Page. I was thinking the Juno actor, and the name was escaping me.
I think that's
Um,
what you're talking about. Yeah, Elliot Page.
Elliot Page. They were both excellent in their roles. Neither had a huge role,
Well, yeah,
right?
in the original
But they were
stories.
excellent. I will say that the casting of Zendaya, who I think is similar to the way that they overexposed Zoe Saldana 5
Mm-hmm.
years ago, right? When she
Okay.
was everywhere.
Yeah,
They're oversaturating us with Zendaya right now, right? I mean, she's in freaking everything.
she
Like
is.
literally, she's in almost everything. There was a meme about it. There was like her and Tom Arnold, and there were all these people that we've seen in so many different. They were like, "Can you please start casting other people? There are other actors in Hollywood,
I
But
will say she's an amazing actor, though.
she was perfect as Athena. She embodied that goddess for me, who grew up on Greek mythology because my dad was an ancient Greek major in college.
Mm-hmm.
So I was regaled with these stories, the Iliad, the Trojan War, the Odyssey. I was regaled with these stories by my dad when he was reading to me as a child. She was the epitome of how I have always seen Athena in my head.
Mm-hmm.
She was just perfect as Athena. Um, and Samantha Morton as Cersei. Like, there was
Oh,
a
I didn't know she was playing Cersei.
she's playing Cersei, and the pig transformation again. Yes, it's a spoiler, but every single person in the United States should have at least gotten through freshman English in
It's
high
in the book.
school. If you were in high school, you read this. You read this story. Anyway, the pig transformation is one of the most incredible yet disturbing, yet can't look away scenes in the entire film, as is the scene with the Cyclops. So, because they don't use CGI, they use a lot of things with camera angles and makeup. And they're like, somebody was like, well, there wasn't enough nudity. Really, the only nudity you get in the entire movie is all of the male crew members' butts and backs as they're
Yeah.
being turned back, right?
Right.
um but the way that this was filmed was so powerful. And a lot of people have been clamoring for Christopher Nolan to do a horror movie. Guys, he just did, because the body horror of the Cyclops scene and that swine transformation scene is better than almost any horror movie you can name. But yet, as compelling and terrifying, and yet you know how it is in a horror movie that's really good, where it's gross and terrifying, but yet you can't look away,
Yeah.
right? That's exactly how those two scenes portray, especially the swine one. And I love her. I've been a fan since she did Harlots, right? And if you have not seen that, you will love it. It's about the the prostitution in England in the late 17 early 1800s, and it is so good. And she stars in it. And then, of course, she was in Minority Report. She's the one seer who, makes it through the whole movie with Tom Cruise. And she played Catherine Medici, um, in The Serpent Queen on Stars, which is also amazing.
I've heard that's good.
She's just such a good actress. And she plays Cersei just oh yeah, he really did cast the movie brilliantly, just brilliantly. Again, the only complaint I had was Robert Patterson, and it's not that he was bad in the role, it's just anybody could have done it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't that meaty of a role. And again, his two facial expressions of either clueless or constipated worked for some of the scenes, didn't work for all.
That's
So
fair.
he's just very hard to be believable as a hard ass villain, in my opinion. So, and this guy, the person who plays Antinous, needed to be a little more despicable, you know.
Hmm.
So that's my review. Go see it. It's amazing. You will love it. But be prepared for it to be loud, and be
That's fair.
prepared to sit. I did manage to sit for the whole 3 hours. Didn't have to get up and go to the bathroom or anything like that. But I nursed my tea, and it was the only thing I drank. John had to get up at least once. I think he got up only the once. But you know, so yeah, so be prepared to sit for a bit, but it was so worth it, and I'm really super excited for Spider-Man at the end of the month.
Yeah, that comes out not this upcoming week, but the following week. Comes out, I believe, the 30th.
Yes. Also, thank you for reminding me about Sam Neill. May he rest in peace, and blessings and our condolences to
Yeah.
his family. And of course, we should know with Fuzzy Ewok, the Jurassic, would we have the Jurassic Park as we know it without Sam Neill? I don't think so. I
No.
don't think anybody could have played Sam Grant the way he did. Is in a movie, and I cannot, for the life of me, remember the name of it, but it is Nicole Kidman's very, very first appearance on film, and it is an Australian picture where they play a couple, and he kind of like terrorizes her on the ocean, and he plays
Oh,
such a frightening guy in this. It blows doors off of what he did in Event
I know what
Horizon.
you're.
It's
I know what you're
terrifying.
talking
I want to
about.
say it was Dead Calm or something like that. The first name that popped into my head was Dead Again, but that's not it, because that is the one with Kenneth Brahm and Emma Thompson when they were still married, when they play a pair of lovers that are reincarnated into each other's bodies. One had murdered the other in the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that was also a great movie, but it's not this one that Sam Neill was in. But Sam Neill plays this killer. He goes after Nicole Kidman on this boat, and it is one of the most frightening things I have ever seen him do. Um, what is Fuzzy saying? Oh, yes, absolutely. That is so true, too, that he did. He opened up archaeology and paleontology, right? Is that how I'm pronouncing it right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, to a whole new generation of kids that might not, like my generation, we grew up on the pictures of the dinosaurs in the Encyclopedia Britannica, and they put out a junior kids version that was like there's a whole dinosaur. That's the best we got when we were kids. Plastic dinosaur toys. You guys got to grow up with Jurassic Park
I had
and
Jurassic Park.
seeing it in a way that my generation and earlier never got, ever,
Mm-hmm.
because they all looked fake. Even the Godzilla from the 50s, it looks fake, right?
Hey, I don't hate on Godzilla. I love Godzilla.
I love Godzilla too, but look at what they did this year, a couple years ago, when he was fighting the three-headed thingy. What was it? Battle of
King
the
Ghidorah.
Monsters.
Yeah, King
Uh,
Ghidorah.
Compared to the version that we got in the 50s, it's
Yeah,
like
the
looking
rubber
at
suit.
Fay Ray's King Kong and comparing it to Peter Jackson's King Kong.
I'm yeah. I'm not saying that.
Or
I'm not.
Skull Island's King Kong, who was even better
Yeah.
than because he was kind of bigger and badder in the Skull Island movie than he was in the Peter Jackson Godzilla. So of
Hmm.
course it's because movies CGI. Um, puppetry, FX, all of that has improved vastly since the 30s and 50s. So,
Oh, definitely.
hence why the creatures look so much better today. But yes, May Sam Neill, rest in peace. And then we had Lindsey Graham. What's the third? Is there? They always die in threes. I could have sworn somebody else died.
I probably wouldn't class all of those people necessarily together,
Well, no, but usually prominent
but I know what
people.
you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's creepy that it always seems to happen in threes. But let's see. Land it was a landmark for the Japanese movie industry and is a national treasure, and they are very protective of the creature. Well, of course they are. He's awesome. We were just saying that. It's like what a transformation from that original 1950s Japanese movie to what Godzilla is today. I mean, my
Hmm.
God, there has been a steady Godzilla comic for how long?
Long
Every
time.
day, not every week, but at least every month for as long as I've been coming to Comic Logic. So 3 years, I know that every month there's been a Godzilla either fighting
There's
the Marvel P team or fighting the DC team or fighting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or aiding the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or fighting one of the other monsters. Something. Godzilla's doing something.
there's always about two or three Godzilla comics running at any given time.
Yeah. Yeah. So super, super popular. Hitting on the Japanese movie industry for just a minute, they were terrifying in the 60s and 70s.
Oh yeah.
I, again, don't remember the name of the movie. It might have been Invasion of the Mushroom People, but it was one of those Japanese industry movies where it was horrible dubbing, right?
Hmm.
But there were killer mushrooms and they were killing all these people. And it's part of the reason I have a hard time eating mushrooms. Because if you
That's
ate them
fair.
in this movie, it would turn you into a mushroom.
Interesting.
And then it probably I would laugh at it today, right? Because the cheesy way that the movies were made back then, and this effects are so quote unquote lame compared to the way they are today. But when I was 6 years old and my babysitter had that on the TV, that was like go hide because it was so terrifying. And they did a couple of other movies like that where it was just like these weird alien type creatures or anamorphic type creatures would attack the Japanese villages. Those movies were terrifying. And
Hmm.
for a little kid watching them on TV, you know, in the late 60s, early 70s, and mid 70s, um, but I can understand why their industry would be so protective of all of those because they were leaving their mark on the horror industry
Oh, definitely.
when before I want to say it was the mid to the late 70s when there was that rash of a new horror movie every week, Silent Scream and all the Halloweens and the Friday the 13th, and then they went on into the as the 80s, we moved out of the 70s and in the 80s, and we moved into more of the Halloweens and Friday the 13th, and we added Freddy and the Nightmare, but all of that didn't really start until about 75, 76. Prior to that, all you really had for outside of like Dracula, right? It was Dracula and Frankenstein were always big sellers.
Like
But
Universal
it was the
Monsters.
Japanese horror industry that really kept the horror genre going from,
Oh,
say,
definitely.
the 50s with Invasion of the Body Snatchers and the Blob, right?
Hmm.
When Hollywood was making those kind of horror movies. From that to the mid 70s when we really started to get the more of the horror genre that we know today,
Yes.
right? I do think that it's the Japanese movie industry that we owe keeping any type of horror genre alive during that period of the late 50s through the main part of the 60s when they were the only ones making them. And they
Mm-hmm.
were primarily making monster movies with Godzilla or mushroom people. So, um,
What is your favorite horror movie?
I'm not a huge fan of horror.
I know that's why I was asking because
Honestly,
yours would really matter
it's
since you like the
so
aesthetic but not
okay.
the topics.
So I have three that I can't separate
Okay.
to say because they all three kind of impacted me in different ways and are part of the reason that I either don't watch horror movies today or I don't watch the ones that come out now, right?
Okay.
So again, we have the attack of the mushroom people that terrified me as a little girl. Okay, but I was really too young to know what I was seeing other than these big huge plastic looking mushroom things were eating um humans, right? So that kind of scared me. Fuzzy Ewok says his favorite is Dog Soldiers with Julianne Moore. Okay, fair. Great werewolf movie. I'm gonna have to check that out because I love werewolf movies. Okay, so um I Spit on Your Grave. The original
Mhm.
I Spit on Your Grave. It's a great revenge movie, but it's super bloody. So
Mhm.
that was like my first like, oh, I can't not watch this, but it was too bloody for me. So it was like, you know, looking. Um Next would be the original Halloween. Scared the shit out of me.
Mhm.
I, to this day, do not like looking at Michael Myers masks. I have not watched anything. I watched the second one, which was just as scary as the first one, right?
The one with her in the
Um,
hospital.
yes, right. Especially that scene when they boil the people in the hot tub thingy.
Oh yeah.
That scene scared me. And then, of course, when at the very end, when once again he gets away from Donald Pleasance, right? That they look
Mhm.
out the window and he's gone. And then I saw the one where Jamie Lee Curtis was a headmistress at a school, and
Yes.
they went after. I think that's Halloween Forever.
Yeah, with
Anyway, she
her son
kills
is
him.
Josh Hartnett.
Yeah. She kills him. But then they
Mhm.
did another one where he came back again.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, I've seen those three, right? And
Okay.
and all of them confirmed that Michael Myers for me is way worse than Freddy or Jason or any of that. But I've never watched a Friday the 13th because I don't
Oh.
I'm a hockey fan and I don't want hockey masks ruined for me forever.
You know
So
what? I
and
respect that.
finally The Hitcher, the original The Hitcher from
Oh.
1986, because everything they did was subtle and
Mhm.
your own brain filled in the really bad stuff,
Yeah.
right? Which made it that much more of a psychological thriller, right? So
Mhm.
those three would be for me the most influential
Like,
in my life on why I appreciate horror movies, but I don't like to watch horror movies. But I also have to say that Wolf, the one with Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer from the 90s,
oh my
I think
god.
that is one of the best werewolf movies ever done. It was wonderful, it was scary, exciting, thrilling. It's not a horror movie, but it's right there. It's between horror and drama, right? And Jaws, the original Jaws,
Yeah.
terrified me to the point where I am 58 years old and I still will not go into water above my knees that
My
I
mom's the
cannot
same way.
clearly see the bottom of.
My mom is the same way. She said that Jaws was like the
But my
scariest movie at the
parents
time.
took me. to see Jaws while we were at Dewey Beach the summer that it came out. Me and
Mm-hmm.
my girlfriend, they'd brought my best friend had been able to come to the beach with us. We went every year for 2 weeks. Parents rented out a condo, and my mom's best friend from high school and college, her mom lived in Dewey, and they would there, so their family would come down, and we just it was a summer tradition, and that seeing that movie ruined going to the beach for me forever. Forever. I did when I lived in California in 1997 to 1998. I did get on a jet ski and go out on the jet ski beyond the jetty. But the moment I saw a fin that was more than likely a dolphin, but it did not matter, I turned that jet ski around and went right back to shore and did not go out on that water again. And that was the Pacific Beach in San Diego. But there are San Diego's got a lot of sharks in the water, so in the Ocean Beach and Pacific Beach. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm not going in this water. Um,
I'm just not a beach person.
I prefer the mountains. I'm much more prefer the mountains. Okay, so let's see. Fuzzy Walk says, "Oh, I forgot the gray with Liam Nielsen." Oh, I did see that movie. That was also very good.
What
That
is
was
it?
also very good. It's called The Gray. And you
Okay.
have to be, there's several movies that have very short titles that have gray in them. So there's also one that is an incredible story about a group of Holocaust, the squad guys that were in charge of taking the bodies out of the
Mm-hmm.
crematoriums and everything. It's called The Gray Zone.
Mm.
Oh, great, great movie. Harvey Keitel is in it. Uh, the shorter guy from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Tim Blake Nelson is also in
Mm.
it. You will recognize almost every face. There are just so many big name actors in it, and it's also a very good movie. The Gray with Liam Neeson is very good. Um, now, okay, and Fuzzy Iwaka also says he will never drive behind a logging truck because of Final Destination. Amen. Amen.
There's
And
some days. There's some days where I'll be behind one, and it'll just be one of those days where I'm just like, you know what, this might as well happen.
yeah, I mean,
But that's the millennial in me, where I'm just like,
yeah,
sure.
yeah. That was another movie that I did see. Probably didn't impact me all that much, but that was a movie that scared the shit out of you
Final
when it first came.
Destination.
That very first one when it came out, and all of the surprise deaths. Oh, so
But
so
real quick, while you were talking about werewolves before, though,
yes,
have you ever seen the Netflix show? It's not on anymore. They took it off, and I can't seem to find it anywhere. There was a show called Hemlock Grove.
yes,
I loved that
that
show.
show was so good.
And it had werewolves and vampires in it.
Yes, yes.
But man, that was a twisted
It
show.
was a
I
very twisted show, but so good.
I love the idea of like turning into a werewolf. Like the wolf is in you, so it literally has to shed the skin off.
When
I know that's like a
we
body horror
role
thing, but
play,
I thought that was
when we
so
role play
cool.
wolves, that's kind of how we describe the shifting. And there's this line, and I know people tear apart the Vampire Diaries and the originals a lot. I personally am a bigger fan of the originals than I ever was of Vampire Diaries. But there's this line that Haley says to her daughter Hope when she talks about the first shift. And she's like, I'm not going to lie. Having every bone in your body break and reform is pretty traumatizing.
I'm sure.
However, there is nothing like the feel of running through a field or the woods after the transformation. It's a
Hmm.
freedom that you'll never find anywhere else. And I thought that is just such a perfect description
Yeah.
because in almost all the shows, that's kind of how they showed it. Even in American Werewolf in London, right? They
Yes.
literally show the human skin peeling away as the muzzle
And that
and
was
the
the very first
paws
time
come
that was
out.
ever shown.
Yeah,
Yeah. It was so
yeah.
cool.
And like, that was like the one complaint I had about True Blood. I always thought True Blood really skimped on the shifting of the wolves.
Yeah.
They never showed it. It was just like, oh, here, I'm taking my clothes off, and all of a sudden this animal comes skirting across the screen. But so those would be it. Back to the original question about the horror movies. So those three, along with these other movies like Bram Stoker's Dracula, that probably
Yes.
really, that was one of the best tellings of Dracula ever put on screen, in my opinion, right? Even as far as
Agreed.
the older stuff, right? And it's funny because going back to Robert Patterson for just a second, my son was saying, well, Robert Pattinson has just as many facial expressions as Keanu Reeves does. And I was like, hey, no argument. No argument. For a really long time, you got Stoner, you got Clueless, and you got from Keanu, right?
Whoa.
Now, we have all grown to appreciate him as he has matured and made some great movies. Like, I personally, my favorite, one of my personal favorites of his will always be Point Break.
Point Break.
Right? Point Break, yeah. um but I loved him as John Wick, right? But at the same time, I'm not gonna lie, I cannot see him on screen no matter what he's doing. Johnny Nemec, Neo, when he played did the Shakespeare movie with Denzel Washington, Speed. It doesn't matter. I still see him as the stoner from Ted and what's
Bill
his
and
name?
Ted.
Yeah, Bill and Ted's Great Adventure.
Yeah, excellent
So
movie.
there is that, right? But I also don't think that Keanu has ever really tried to go out and be like, dude, I'm a serious actor. Take me seriously, right? I want an Oscar. That he's never been that kind of actor. Do
He
you
does
know
it
what I
because he
mean?
enjoys it, not because he
He
wants
loves what he
accolades.
does. He's like Woody Harrelson in that regard, and Matthew McConaughey, right?
Yeah.
They love what they do. They're great at what they do, but they never change who they are. No, it doesn't matter what role they're playing. They are still themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's kind of Robert Patterson falls into that as well. And I know people that rave about him as Batman. I was just kind of like, eh. I didn't want to like Ben Affleck. I think Ben Affleck was still a better Batman. So, but anyway,
I think they were just very, very, very different Batman than
true.
we
And I
normally are
will,
used to.
yes, and I will say that the whole year one concept, his age, the way he's playing them, totally believable. I didn't hate him in the role, and he's very believable as this early, like I was saying to Will last night, if you watched Gotham, the TV show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then watched the first Batman, the Batman, then go into the Dark Knight trilogy by Christopher Nolan, right? Then
Mm.
watch Michael Keaton. Like, to me, you don't need to watch Val Kilmer or George Clooney at all. But in my opinion, you could go from though you like, if you were to do it in that chronological order, you would get this really rounded picture of who Batman is, all the way up to going to Ben Affleck, right? Where you get Batman right before the old man that teaches Terry McGinnis,
Yeah.
right? Which you needed a little bit of an older guy than Ben Affleck for that, right? But Ben takes you right up to right before that point, right?
Fair.
Because he played him a little bit older than Michael did, right? And yes, I guess, some like I thought that Val Kilmer made an okay Bruce Wayne, but he had too pretty lips to play Batman. Like the lips were distracting under the cowl, right? They were because he has those perfect butterfly 40s that every woman wanted lips, right?
Yeah.
And that threw me off. For
That's
it was
fair.
fine as Bruce Wayne, but you put him in the cowl and all you can see is this. Those lips were too perfect.
That's
They were
fair.
more perfect than Nicole. And then we talk, George Clooney again. He was a fine Bruce Wayne, perfect Bruce Wayne, really. Out of all of the Bruce Waynes, I think he really did it well, right? Because he had that playboy single guy vibe going at the time, right? But he
He-
was a terrible Batman. The script was bad,
Yes.
but he was a terrible Batman. So that's kind of like my, that's why I leave them out. But you go from the Gotham TV show, which I thought was fabulous, and
Hmm.
then that leads you right into that first year that he becomes Batman, and then you watch the Batman, and then move on to the Christopher Nolan ones, and then move into Michael Keaton, and then Ben Affleck, and yeah, you're ready for the real old man that's going to take over. That's going to teach Terry what's what for Batman Beyond. You don't agree?
Yeah. No, I mean,
I want to see them put Nightwing on. I want to see Nightwing. I'm tired of seeing Robin. I want to see Nightwing.
I agree. I really, really, I want like a Bloodhaven movie.
Must be so good.
I really
Like
want
like
like,
him with Huntress punching
yeah,
Croc in
yeah,
Bloodhaven. That
yeah.
would be so good.
Like I want, we're always in Gotham. I want to go to Bloodhaven
Yeah.
because I feel like they just have like so much opportunity and characters that they could deal with
Hmm.
and
Agreed.
represent and show. I think being in Bloodhaven would be so fun, even
Did
if
they
it's just
ever
like
do
an
that in
HBO
any
Max
of the
special.
Arrowverse or
What?
Smallville verse on the CW where they
Hmm.
did, the Teen Titans and Arrow and Smallville and all that? Did they ever do Bloodhaven?
To my knowledge, I feel like it was referenced, but I don't know if they ever actually went there on screen.
Okay.
I know they
Was
talked
Night
about
was
it.
Nightwing in that, or was it Damien as Robin?
I don't remember. I don't know
Yeah,
if
I've
I
never
didn't.
watched it, so I can't
Yeah,
say.
I never
So
watched it either. I know of it and I know like a lot about it. I
yeah,
don't, but I don't actually
I
know.
might have to check that out sometime. Like watch it all. Like watch Smallville, move into Arrow, and then Teen Titans and all that. Like I watched the cartoon Teen Titans, but yeah, I
Yeah,
never watched the live action.
I
So,
never did either.
um, one last thing that I'm looking forward to. There's going to be another What If, and
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be about the Runaways,
Yes.
and I'm really looking forward to that. And I
Yes.
saw in the newest catalog, as I was pulling out my sheets to keep track of what's coming, that there's going to be, I think, issue number 3 of the Black Queen is going to
Mm-hmm.
feature Cloak and Dagger. I'm going to
Yes.
need that in my box for
You know
sure.
it.
Even
You
though I'll
know
probably have
it.
no idea what's going on because I'm not reading the overall story, but it looked like they were only going to be in that one issue.
I think so.
So, but yeah, you know me, gotta have it if it's gonna be Cloak and Dagger. So,
Yes.
um,
I'm really excited for that one. And I think that one is being co-written with Rainbow Rowell.
yes,
And I
yes.
love Rainbow Rowell. Rainbow Rowell wrote
So,
the Carry On series that I loved when I was younger.
okay, cool. I don't
Overall, it's a
know
good
who's
writer.
writing the Runaways, but I do know it's going to be if they had never run away. So it
Mm-hmm.
was going to be like, what would Pride be
Yeah,
if they were all in Pride. And oh, the thought of that is just so intriguing.
I agree.
So, yeah. That's another show I wish they had not canceled. I really loved that show.
Yeah,
Thought it was really good.
it was very fun.
Yeah. The other one that they did that had Amy Art, the chick from Angel,
Yeah,
Fred from Angel, she played the mom, and then the guy from True Blood that played Bill played the dad.
yeah.
I want The Gift. Maybe they had two kids that ended up being mutants, and then they ended up having to go on the run,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. No, it wasn't the New Mutants because that was all about a group of kids.
Yeah, that was the kids.
I think it was called The Gift. Anyway, it was another like Fox series that was really good, but it was only
Okay.
like one season. See, Marvel needs to do more stuff like that.
They did a whole bunch of stuff with their like on Disney Plus, but they just kind of rushed a lot of them.
Yes, agreed, agreed. Have you watched the new X-Men yet?
Yes. X-Men
I haven't
97.
started season 2 yet. Is it good?
Oh my god, it's so good. It hurts so much.
Oh gosh, I'll have to start watching it tomorrow when I get home from the
My
doctor. I have to
heart.
be in Fairfax at 9:30, 9:45 tomorrow morning. Yuck.
Oof.
But I don't have to go on Wednesday.
That's
So
awesome.
I can bring keto and have a normal Wednesday.
Yay.
So,
That would be nice.
yeah. Speaking of though, I need to get to bed because I have to get up early
Yeah.
and drive to Fairfax tomorrow morning in rush hour. Just what I want to do. Great
Yep.
show as always. Not sure who our next guest is going to be. I'm still talking to our secret admirer guest, trying to organize something with their schedule. And I know that Kent, but I'm probably going to do a live by myself from the shop. So I might have you walk into the frame a few times when Kent has my next 5 slabs. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I didn't show off today. I have 2 things to show off. Wait, hold on, real quick before we go, everybody.
It's
I
worth it.
did one more, my last frame. The let's see if I can get it here.
That's so good.
It came out pretty good, right?
It did.
It's going in my bedroom
Yeah.
because I have no room in here anymore. And then, last but not least, everybody, hold on. I got 2 really pretty decent grades on these. I'm excited. So these were the first 2 slabs that I'd sent off in over a year. And this first one, they were both doubles. So I had 2 copies of each of these comics, and I sent them both. So I sent all 4 to Kent and had him clean and press. And then whichever one was the best out of the 2 copies to send off to get slabbed. So first is Detective Comic 570 from January of 1987. And I got a 9.6 on this one.
That's not bad. That's
Not
awesome.
bad at all. I was really impressed with that. And then last but not least, I had 2 of these, which is Josie and the Pussycats from August of 85.
Oh wow.
And look at the yellow pop off of that. Right?
That's
And
really cool.
I'm pretty pleased with the 7 considering how old it was. And the
Yeah.
pages were really yellow. So, and it says on here, off white to white pages, which means Kent really cleaned it up well. So I'm really happy with those. And excited to get, because he's got 5 more. All 4 out of the 5 are all modern, right? So,
Mhm.
hopefully they'll get really good grades. But one is the signed one that Jim Ballant signed for me, that Gary got for me
Oh, that's
when he
awesome.
went to Pennsylvania. So I'm really excited to get, because that's getting its signature verified as well.
Nice.
So, but yeah, so we're going to do a live unboxing with Kent when my 5 come in. And I don't know, we got to get some more people in here. Not that I don't love just being with you. Oh,
No, yeah.
I talked to somebody at CGC
Yeah.
about my artist application, and we
Yeah.
were talking about podcasts, and he said he was going to check us out. He asked for
Awesome.
he said he's always looking for new content and new comic reviews, and um, his name was, I want to say, Aaron from CGC. And
Well,
he
hi,
said
Aaron,
he
if you're
was going to be,
watching.
yeah, if you're watching, hi. He said he was going to check us out and check out Codex. He had not heard of either one of us.
Oh, well,
So
fantastic.
there we go. So, and here, we get it. We seem to pick up a follower a week according to our analytics. So slow but steady progress.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's it. We ready to wrap it?
I
We
think
got a
we
late
are.
start, so thank you for staying with us late tonight. We appreciate you. We appreciate you turning in every Sunday. We love chatting with you. We love doing this. So thank you for being part of the Loco Sirens. And we will be back next Sunday. Same siren time, same siren channel. And we should actually be on time next week, maybe.
Yes. Hopefully.
Hopefully. That's okay. Technical difficulties happen. It's
Hmm.
been my fault. I've had technical difficulties myself. So, and we made it. So, you guys have a wonderful night, and we will see you in the funny papers, folks. Good night.